Hello guys, my name is Christina. This is my introduction video to a life story of being a medical mom with a MMA son slash post transplant surgery as well. So hello, my name is Christina. I am 24 years old. I have a 4-year-old son named Roberto. So a little bit about me is that I gave birth to my son in November of 2021. My son was born with a rare genetic disorder called Methylmalonic acidemia, which landed him in the NICU a couple days after giving birth. He was roughly in the NICU for about 2 months. In the meantime, the doctors were doing tests, doing like specialized formula for him as well, and then reaching out to genetic doctors in the area. So what methylmalonic acidemia is basically in his liver. It's a liver disease basically. So his liver doesn't have a certain enzyme which breaks down proteins or fats, and with all that, it does cause a little bit of complications for him if he intakes a lot of protein or fat, and it will cause toxic buildup in his system, which can be life-threatening for him. So how rare this genetic disorder is that it affects 1 in every 100,000 kids, and both parents have to be carriers for that 25% for that child to be affected, which is my son. So basically we consulted with a genetic doctor in a different town, just because the hospital where I gave birth to, they consulted with that doctor, so we stayed with that doctor after birth up until 2023, when we actually got a new genetic doctor here closer to us. So with this new genetic doctor, his suggestion was that we should do a liver transplant. So me and his dad thought about it, and we actually wanted to move forward with the liver transplant. It would not totally take away all of the MMA that he has, but it will give him less restrictions what he has right now. So back in 2023, we did started the process on the liver transplants process, to be on the list, to do testing and all that. So we were on it for roughly 2 years. My son was closer to the top of the list, but yeah, so 2 years we were on the list. Every couple months we'll see the transplant clinic, give them updates and all that. It was a process, but luckily I got the call a little over 2 weeks ago that they did find a donor, and then just this past week we did the liver transplant surgery. So I am very grateful for the donor that donated part of their liver to help better my son's life. He's gonna have like less restrictions. He will still have the MMA, but it won't be as severely as he has it right now. So I am very grateful for that, and I can never thank this person enough. I wish I could have met this person, but they wanted to be an anonymous donor, but their generosity was for a recipient, pediatric recipient. So I am very grateful for that. But I just wanted to make this video to spread awareness for MMA, rare disease. We have a rare disease awareness day, which is at the end of February or beginning of March, because sometimes it's always like February 28th, or if it's a leap year, it's like the 29th. But it's either one of those 2 days. And it's sometimes a zebra stripe or a green stripe. It varies. I'm not like versed in all that, so but I wanted to bring awareness to rare diseases, so that way there can be more research on it, and more testing, especially for families that are in the same circumstances I am in. I would rather have known before my son was born, so I could process my emotions, than learning about it after birth, during postpartum. I also had stuff in my life at that time that just, I was a wreck for I think a month or two, postpartum and all that, and then dealing with all this with my son. I wouldn't change anything for the world, but I think I just remembered the trauma of it afterwards. So I think fetal testing should be done as well during pregnancy, just to see any rare conditions that, you know, the baby should have. And yeah, I think this is my video. Thank you guys so much for listening to everything. Ask me questions. I am not a doctor, so I don't take everything with a grain of salt for my information. This is just stuff I learned over the years, so please be kind.